Hi Chase, how you doing? Okay, so I've got your work up here, and got the trade show booth. Now, a couple of things I want to mention is I'm still a little confused. Is Axion is now your is the deforestation? That's your client now, right? You're the designer. This is the client that says, I am a deforestation proponent and I have a trade show and I'd like you to design it for me. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. Now, looking at the booth itself, remember that this is it's a world summit, trade show basically for these global issues. So that being said, I can see this working at maybe a tiny little trade show, tiny, maybe even, but not for something of the magnitude that we're looking. Now, we're not looking for this big giant display, but nonetheless, it is a global summit. So, and that much was given in week one. So remember now, keep that in mind because that's pretty important. Now, as far as your booth goes, now I would not recommend blocking this wall in here because that means you have one person behind a table and you have a bunch of T-shirts to give away and a bunch of pieces of informational collateral. You don't want to do that. You want to have the people be able to walk through the booth and interact with the booth itself without having to be constrained with having the human turn around and, yeah, I'll be with you in a second. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you an example. This is Epic Displays, and they're sustainable trade show displays. But you can see now you've got the projector in the back, and then you've got the little podium over here where you could have, I don't know, your T-shirts. You got the hanger rack right here where you could hang your giveaway T-shirts. Have your collateral right there. You've got your video going, and then you've got your podium here where your human is actually standing, talking and interacting with people. So, and then there's plenty of room for people to interact with the booth and to walk through it and things. So you wouldn't necessarily be confined like you are here. This branding is you've got two different logos here or presentations of the logo. So that's a little questionable. I would try to keep as consistent there as possible. As far as the materials go, I think you did a good job. Now, one thing that I would say, I would recommend this. Okay, so if hypothetically I'm your client, right? You give me this report and you say, okay, this is what we're using. This is why they're the best things and the most responsible choices for this project. And I go to myself, oh, that's great, but prove it. So right down there, you got to give us some research citations, definitely. Otherwise, it doesn't hold any merit without proof. So I've been saying this to a lot of students. Don't just say it's sustainable, prove it. How do you prove it? Show your citations. This is your your informational collateral. And I'm wondering about this because there's a couple of things here on this. You've got your placeholder text in here. So boy, I'm a little bit lost as to what you're saying and how you're saying it. So, without live text in there, I really can't comment on that. And I just noticed here's a third. You've showed the logo 3 different times, and you've also showed 3 different versions. Okay, so let's watch our consistency there. If this is a flyer, what's on the back? Remember the reduce part of reduce, reuse, and recycle. So what's on the back of that? Okay, then you're saying the cardstock, leaflet, seed paper. Now, don't forget, some seed paper can't be printed on with different types of printing. So take a look at that. And then, so I guess the seed paper, why? Is it so that set up this way those who attend and really care can actually plant them in their backyards, local parks or schools seeded with the most common? Yeah, and that's a good solution right there. It gives them an incentive to hang on to that. But it doesn't say anywhere that seed paper that you can plant it. Plus, it's awful big. I think that you could probably present this information on a more concise format. Think about it. And presumably there's a whole back side of this that's not printed on. So again, that's think about reducing resources there. The T-shirt's a little curious. Instead of using a green dyed T-shirt, let's forget that and use a white T-shirt. You're talking about, let me see. And T-shirts are not necessarily biodegradable. That's not true. You do have T-shirts, 100% organic cotton, 100% organic hemp. Those shirts are certainly biodegradable. So look into that. And then also, they do have a safe measure of printing. They do. There's actually screen printers. First of all, back to my recommendation. Oh, look, there's a fourth or fifth presentation of the logo. So let's get that down first and foremost. Is get that logo down to some consistent. A consistent presentation. So, yeah, back to the t-shirt. Why use dyed green? That's a waste of resources. Let's use just a regular white t-shirt, no dye, and then you can screen print right on that instead of iron-on. I think you talked that this was an iron-on. Yes, you did. Soy-based iron-on. I do not recommend that. I recommend going just straight commercial screen print. You do have sustainable screen printers. They use a water-based or soy-based inks, and those inks de-ink quickly. If the product ends up in a landfill, they're recyclable. They can be de-inked easily mechanically, so they're suitable for recycling. And if they do end up in a landfill, they will biodegrade, and the inks will biodegrade as well in a sustainable way. So look into that, definitely. Okay, yeah, citation. So don't say it, prove it. Okay, that's the same thing you guys. That's the one thing you guys should be. You guys should all be saying that to yourselves while you're compiling your materials list. Okay. Other than that, that's all I have. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to give me a holler. Okay, thanks very much.